Aita for wanting to leave my partner. I 29M have been dating my partner 33F for 3 years now. Overall, we get along really well, have very congruent personalities, and I truly love her. Recently, however, doubts about her being my lifelong partner have started creeping in. We've lived drastically different lives up to this point. I came from a family with little means, often not having enough food or clothes. I was lucky enough to go to college, and coming from that background, I had to make the most of the opportunity. I chose a life path of relative financial stability and became an engineer. Like most, I took out loans to pay for school, eventually going out of state. Motivated by the debt I was in and the lack of a safety net from my parents, I started working as an engineer immediately after graduating. Over the next 8 years, I slowly paid off my loans and saved up a substantial, what I'll call, down payment on a house. During this time, I rarely took vacations. Most times, I just visited my family. I turned down bachelor parties and weddings, limiting purchases and trying to live below my means to set myself up for a better future. All of this was motivated by the desire for financial stability. Now I'll introduce my partner. She comes from many different means, having attended private schools and grown up in homes with acreage. This background provides context for what follows. During college, she studied abroad and worked summers on ranches out west due to her horse experience, while I spent my summers digging holes for irrigation. After college, she decided to live the cowgirl lifestyle, working on dude and cattle ranches across the west. It should go without saying that, like most dirtbag jobs, the pay wasn't much, but the experience was well worth it. She also got to work in Europe for a year. After 5 years of this, she decided to go to grad school and get her PhD, which is currently near completion. During the summers of grad school, she continued traveling the West, taking dirtbag jobs, and at some point, she also purchased a horse. I met her at the start of grad school, and it's clear that money was, and is, tight for her. To help pick up the slack, I pay for the majority of vacations, food, rent, and utilities, as I am in a much more financially stable place. Living this lifestyle has also not set her up well financially. She has exhausted what little savings she had and has no retirement savings. And this is where the problem lies. She has made her entire personality about her ranch lifestyle. It gets shoehorned into nearly every conversation, but in the same breath, she'll complain about not having money. Recently, hearing about these experiences I never got to have while sitting at a desk has started to get under my skin, especially because I am the one footing the bill for these decisions. Even while in grad school, she took multiple days off to ride her horse, all while I was working 50 hours a week. I'll also add that by paying substantially more for all the bills, I'm essentially funding the horse she owns. I won't even go into detail about how much I've had to cut back on things since we started dating. Having recently paid off my loans and saved for a down payment, I am ready to get my life started. I feel free for the first time in a long time. I also want to be able to take trips without footing the bill for two, and see the things I've missed out on. But I also feel she is many years behind, and her being a few years older only compounds the fear. I am also tired of hearing about all these experiences and places visited that I never could because I was working. So, AITA for wanting to leave my partner.